Let's talk about the challenges in supply chain management. We will do a brief discussion about the challenges of supply chain management. This presentation was actually prepared before the coronavirus pandemic. Basically, I'm going to discuss some of the common or general challenges managers face in the supply chain management. So let's see what are the major challenges in the supply chain management. So to run a efficient and responsive supply chain professionals face numbers of challenges, and we are going to discuss one by one. So the first challenge is visibility. So supply chains have becoming extremely complex. Achieving feasibility of tier 1, 2, 3 and beyond supplier is very important. So to get the objectives of our supply chain, it is very important that we have a visibility of our supplier of all tiers. So supply chain disruption in past and present has shown that how critical the visibility of all these sub-tier suppliers and other partners can be. So as we know, there are always disruptions and problems in the supply chains. So if we have total visibility of a supply chain, it will be easy for managers to find out exact issues and fix it. So visibility, but it is due to the complexity and the length of visibility and globalization, supply chain visibility is becoming a issue. Then traceability. So recent event like food safety and other compliances issue has made it very important that we should be tracing our supply chain at any given point. So from origin to finished products. But globalization and complexity of supply chain make it very difficult to quickly and efficiently trace materials back through the supply chain. But due to like in the previous visibility, it is due to complexity and globalization. Visibility is also becoming a challenge, and then traceability is also a challenge for the supply chain professionals. So next is complexity. Yes. So complexity is the another challenge in the supply chain, and why it is actually paradoxy of supply chain managers that to achieve their objectives, we make our supply chain more complex. We deal with some challenges or we achieve some objectives, but we create more challenges for us. For example, in drive to reduce the cost, supply chain can become very complex, creating a intricate web of global third parties. So we involving so many people or so many places that it become complex how we will put them together, making the supply chain network is becoming so complex that it become a challenge, because we are achieving something but creating some problem or issue for us too. So attempting to track and control supply chains in the face of complexity is challenging, so contributing to many of the other issue which we are discussing here. So this complexity of the supply chain, which is happening due to the getting the maximum or optimal efficiency and high responsiveness, we make our supply chain very complex and cumbersome. Then next is the cost, which is one of the major objective of our supply chain. So cost is due to because we want to win the competitors. So competition is fierce and cutting cost is often a necessity to maintain an edge. But what we are doing and we are applying a lean concept, we are developing procurement strategies which are very lean and very efficient, and squeezing our suppliers all contribute to improve the efficiencies and reduce costs. So, but what we are doing when, like I already explained to you, when we are doing this, we are creating some other issues, like when we squeeze our suppliers, they try to cut the corners, and same times these techniques can also introduce risk to supply chain disruptions and supply performance issues. So when we are pushing too much, maybe it is the challenge that they might break down. So it is very important. It is another challenge that when we are dealing with the cost cutting, we are creating some other challenges, and so cost itself become a challenge for us. Then next is sustainability. Yeah, of course, this continuity of our supply chain is very important, that we sustain our operations so we can fulfill our consumers' demand and satisfied our operations. So consumers are demanding sustainable operations from company. So this is no more apparent than in supply chain. The challenge is to balance the need to demonstrate sustainable sourcing while maintaining cost competitiveness. So again, it is like double-edged thing. We one side we want to have cut the cost to stay more competitive, and second time we want to have same kind of operations, same kind of things successfully to satisfy our customer and achieving the efficiency in our. So this is where it become another challenge. So sustainability is another challenge managers are facing in supply chain management. Then, like we discussed in the previous challenge, that suppliers performance, when we squeeze them too much, when we apply too much things and we want to have a very efficient and very aligned to us, so what happened, there's become a challenge of suppliers. And so I will just add things. Suppliers performance is very important to achieve the objectives of a supply chain, so keep them at higher performance level is another big challenge. So I have practical experience. So without suppliers high level performance, we cannot achieve any of our objective, that's including cost and responsiveness. So as suppliers are squeezed on cost and tight delivery schedules, they may be start cutting the corners, like I told you. So they will do things to meet our objectives, particularly timelines and cost. So there are two benchmarks we are setting for them. One is the cost and other is the lead time. So when they are too tight, so they start doing something which they're supposed to not do it, and they compromise on quality, maybe compliances. So later on it creates trouble for us, and it is very important that we should talk with them. For I think one of the purpose of the supply chain is that we should see suppliers and us should be on the same page, and we should have better visibility and better trust level. So this, but again, creating a trust and credibility and visibility, it is very big challenges in the supply chain management. You will see when you will do practical, how they are like curtains or iron curtains between you and sometimes between suppliers. So it is real hard, or you will find the things when the things are already disaster is started. So this can result in quality problems which can have significant knock-on effects throughout the supply chain, like I told you, because any problem from supplier, it is like a virus starting from suppliers and go to end customers, and it might ruin your business totally. So then another thing is natural disasters. I told you this presentation was prepared before the coronavirus, so it is very important. And it is, in my opinion, this is, and you are no witness to that, this is like a biggest challenge to cope with the natural phenomena or natural disasters. The next is technology. Yes, we have to adapt to the technology if we want to, and we do it, but becoming, instead of helping us, become a challenge with us, because if we are not properly or trained or equipped or know about how to use so it might, instead of helping us, it can create a disaster for us. So technology innovations can markedly improve supply chain visibility and performance, but it also creates significant difficulties if it does not perform as expected. Can it be managed appropriately, or can it adapt to the dynamic changes in the supply chain? So use of technology is becoming, the proper use of technology is becoming another challenge. Then after technology, another thing like natural disaster, there's some man-made disasters as well. It's like cyber risks, cyber attacks. We know our whole supply chain is riding on the information technology. So without information technology, we cannot run our supply chain very smoothly. So as we know, supply chains are highly dependent on the flow of information up and down the value chain and the integrity of information. So two things: proper information moving from up to down, right to left, and in all it is like a blood or oxygen in our veins. So it should reach everywhere there is needed, but and also without any compromising, without any leakage. So cyber attacks are a constant threat and can result in loss of commercial information. Yes, we might lose because all our information, and the information is the bloodline of every business nowadays, because information has the value, information is the money. Otherwise you can do everything, but your research, your experiments, your marketing research, your product development, your process, your everything is in the shape of information which is flowing from one. And this is another challenge in the supply chain. So because many people are involved in that, so exposure to stolen confidential information and an inability to conduct business for some period of time, so it may make you unable to work properly. So in my opinion, this is another big challenge. So it's not only the cyber attacks, it's also hacking like things and stealing of your information. So next is globalization. Yes, we are very fond of and we like the globalization, because globalization did the wonder to our world of our lifestyle. It increased our income per capita and the development and GDP of most of the countries. But again, it is also becoming a big of the challenges that companies are facing, how to reduce their supply chain, not only cost but exposure. It is basically, in my opinion, it is the exposure which are, because when we are spreading our supply chain in the many countries, we are exposing ourselves to many of the challenges or the risks. So risks are becoming more. So this is another. In order to satisfy customer price expectation, companies have adapted to relocate manufacturing to low cost countries around the world in an effort to reduce direct and indirect cost and to minimize other expenses and taxes. So like I told you in the beginning, I've said, so we created these kind of things for these challenges for ourselves, but that is our job. So to achieve our objectives, we have to go to new territories, we to go to the new level of the business. So when we go to the new level of business, we get the new level of challenges. So like nowadays everyone is talking about this thing happened and this thing happened, but again we did this to raise our living standard, to raise our GDP, per capita income, to have advances in technology, in information technology, in manufacturing technology, in transportation. So all these things are results of to achieving our objective, that is efficiency, that is the responsive time. So but again, we are still due to this virus, we come to know that we are still not, we have a lot of ground to cover yet. Having global suppliers contributes significantly to complexity that comes from extended delivery lead time. That's why I say, our things are becoming, our lead times are becoming are greater. We are not going next door and buy things. No, we are bringing things from the other side of the world, sometime or most of the time, to achieve our objective of efficiency. So customers not only want lower prices, but they also want their product on time. So this is the biggest challenge, in my opinion, of dilemma of the supply chain, that people want value on the time. Like we, in the previous presentation, I said, these are the two things we have to match that, and basically this is the job, and this is a big challenge of any supply chain manager. Next is customer preferences. Yes, this is another thing. Customers, our preferences are changing so quickly. It's rapidly. We are, we don't want things forever. One thing we are, we want different phones. We need different cars. We need different food. We need different fashion. So these are all things are changing, and I will tell you one thing. They are changing so rapidly. So I write in a red. The product life is so much shortened that it makes difficult to forecast even a trend of the taste or sale forecast. So it's becoming a big challenge for what to make, how much to make, when to make, where to make, because we have to satisfy customers at a competitive price on the time. So these are the all factors influencing us and so rapidly. For this reason, making our supply chain more challenging and more complex. So what is the customer's preference? Preferences are constantly changing and creating a new, even greater challenge. A product is released and customers rapidly pressure companies to come up with the next big thing. Yes. So, people got bored very quickly. They want new things. So innovation is important since it allows companies to stay competitive in the market, but it also has challenges, like I explained to you. To enhance a product, companies have to redesign their supply network and meet market demand and in a way that transparent for customers. So, I was reading this challenge. I have, remember me, Sarah, the garment company, which they do, and maybe in one of the presentation I will explain their supply chain as well. So Sarah Apparel is how they compete with the, but they are in the Spain now. I don't know what is happening to them because their Spain is under attack from the virus. So the last but not the least, one of the challenges, because I want to keep this presentation shorter and brief. So challenge is market growth. Because growth is good, but it is also, like I said, growth is anything we are progressing is we are facing new challenges. So another factor that present a challenge is the pursuit of new customer. We have to find the new customers. The cost of a developing product for R&D, and all these expenses are, all these things are, and competition is giving us more and challenges. And I will tell you one thing, in my opinion, maybe studying supply chain management is maybe easier, but doing is very difficult. And I did like 10 12 15 years, from all phases of supply chain. But I will tell you, every day we have new challenge and new things. So, and it is like a different parts, different things putting together to make a holistic picture. So therefore companies are trying to expand their distribution to emerging markets in order to grow revenue and increase markets. So whenever to get the economy of scale, so we have to go to the different markets, or if one market is saturated, we have to go to other one. If fashion is in one market is diminishing, or it is changing, so we have to take to another market. There are many market levels are, so we have to see all the things to become more profitable and to survive in the business. Companies all around the world are expected to expand their homes and foreign markets. The introduction to new market is difficult due to trading policies, fees, and government policies, and different marketing environment. So we are going, like I said, new territories, new people, new segments of customers, and new people in even we are dealing with. So there are different cultures, different environment, different things, different languages. So these are all things, when we go to the new territory, these things are happen. So basically these are briefly I discussed some of the challenges in the supply chain management. So keep this presentation shorter, so I just a portion of that, it is like that. So thank you very much for listening. Please let me know what you want more in that, or if you have any question or any input, I will be really glad to share my knowledge with you and listen to you also. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press bell icon. Thank you.